Hello. Hello and welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, our topic of discussion is Roman numerals. We'll get to learn about Roman numbers from 1 to 10. We'll see how they are being combined and how they form numbers and what numbers they form. So let's begin. Identifying Roman numerals. Roman numerals are letters used to represent numbers, and one of the letters used is the letter I. And this figure could be in form of a stroke or an I with a dot and an I with a serif. So whichever one you see, be it an I having a dot or a serif I or just a stroke, represents 1. Now whenever we see I alone, it represents 1. So in Roman numerals, whenever we see I, it represents 1. And when we see I, two I's, that's I, it represents 1 plus 1, which means 2, or which is equal to 2. So 2 I's in Roman numerals is 2 in odd number figures. Whenever we see 3 I's, it means 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So 3 I's together in Roman numerals represents 3. Now whatever form they appear in, whenever they are combined, we could get to know how many or what digits they represent. So if we see an I just with a dot or a stroke of I or a serif I alone, we know this is number 1. But if we see them combined, maybe 2 I's or 2 stroke of I or 2 serif I's, we know this is 2. If you have 3 I's together with a dot or 3 strokes of I or 3 serif I's, we know this represents 3. Now let's get to learn about the letter V in the Roman numeral, or the character V in the Roman numerals. Now whenever we see V, it represents 5 in digits form. We know V represents 5, but whenever we have V and we have letter I just at the left side of V, it means we'll take out 1 from V, which is 5 minus 1. So whenever you have V and I at the left hand side, it means you're to remove 1. You remember I represents 1, so you're to remove 1 from V. Whenever you have a letter at the left hand side, you're to remove it from the letter at the right. So 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. If we have V and then we have I at the right hand side, it means we have to add 1 to V, and V is 5. So we'll have 5 plus 1, which is equal to 6. Here we have IV. IV represents 5 minus 1 equals 4. So IV represents 4. V, and remember we said V represents 5. In Roman numerals, the symbol V represents 5. VI. V is at the left hand side and I is at the right hand side, so we have to sum them together, which is 5 plus 1, and it gives us 6. VII. We have 2 I's at the right hand, that means we have to add 2 to 5. 5 plus 1 plus 1, which is 7. Now we have VIII, that is 3 I's by the right hand side. Remember, when the letter is at the right hand side, the smaller letter is at the right hand side, we have to add it to the number at the left hand side. So it will be 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. The number of I's are 3 and the number of 1's here is 3. And our answer is 8. 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. Now, whenever you see the letter X or the symbol X, it represents 10 in the Roman numerals. Since we know X is 10, what if you have X and then you have I at the left hand side? Remember our principle or our rule: whenever a smaller number is at the left hand side of a larger symbol or a bigger number, we'll subtract the smaller number from the larger one. Now I is smaller than X and I is at the left hand side, so we're going to remove 1, which represents I, from X, which is 10. So we'll have 10 minus 1, and 10 minus 1 is 9. We have X and then we have I at the right hand side, the other way around. So what are we to do? We'll add 1 to 10. So this is 10 plus 1, and 10 plus 1 gives us 11. Remember we said when I is at the left hand side, we'll remove 1 from 10. So this is IX, and IX means 10 minus 1, and 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. And last but not the least, X, and X represents 10. So we've come to the end of today's class, and you can go through the lesson one more time to grasp all that has been said, and I hope you were able to understand and follow through with the Roman numerals. Here are some activities for you to try out to see if you really understood what was learned today. See you in my next class. Bye.